Can you hear me now? Aha. Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome to this first Dream Leapers event for the new year. Welcome to Let's Meditate 2022. I'm so excited to be able to share this moment with all of you who are joining now and those who may join us later live and at another moment because we live in this amazing on-demand world. But welcome to all of you who are joining right now. Happy New Year. I pray that this year has come in beautifully with blessings that you can feel and see and recognize. We know that the blessings are there. The question is if you are noticing them and if you are acknowledging them and honoring them. And I hope that you are, that we all are. This past year has been unforgettable, I think, for each one of us in a myriad of ways. And when the year prior, just as we're turning the corner from one year to the next, when the year prior has been so full, so incredibly full, it can be difficult for us to leave that year and move into the next. And I wonder if that has felt true for any of you. If you felt like, ooh, I'm still processing a lot of stuff. I've still got baggage. I've still got things I have to deal with. I'm not ready. I talked to a lot of people who said they weren't ready when we were creeping up on December 31st, that they didn't feel ready to move forward. And yet we are here. And I want us all to take a moment to acknowledge that it is a blessing to be here, right? We didn't have to be here. I learned of a loved one who passed away on New Year's Eve, someone who was seemingly well, and it was his time. As my mother has always said, no moment is promised except the one we are in. This is the promised moment. And if we are so blessed as we are to be together in this moment, we need to fully embrace that and acknowledge that in this moment, we can claim our power. In this moment, we can access our creativity. We can access our core. We can make choices that can lead us in the direction that we want to go in this moment. Not in the past, not in the future, but in this one. And yet, that doesn't take away the weight, sometimes the burden, sometimes even the wonder and joy of what happened before. Sometimes it's hard to move forward because we don't want to let go of the incredible greatness of something that just happened, that was a highlight of the past. And yet we can't hold on. We can remember, we can reflect, but we cannot hold on. I want to share with you that just today, about an hour before this broadcast was to begin, I received a call, literally out of nowhere. I received a call on my personal cell phone from someone I do not know. My number is not listed. And I heard the voice of a young man in crisis. Somehow he had found me and reached out to me, and what I heard was someone who felt that his life was in jeopardy and his dream was at risk of being squashed. And the fear that I heard in his voice was palpable. I wondered at first, why is this person calling me? How did this person reach me? How did he break through whatever the barrier is between me and whoever else there might be? And then I just said, take a deep breath, Harriet. Be still and be present. And being with this young man for a few minutes, and I hope that he's joining today. I invited him to join. Being with him reminded me that as we move into this moment where we will meditate together and we will process what's happening in our lives, I have to remember, and I want us all to acknowledge that we're in different states of mind, of being right now. Not everybody is happy. Not everybody is in alignment with what they want to do. Not everybody is sad or depressed or lonely. We have our own unique perspectives on who we are, how we're living, where we are, and where we're headed. And all of them are valid. So whatever you are feeling, whatever you are thinking, whatever is happening for you in this moment, I want you to know that it is okay. It doesn't matter where you are or what's going on. If you need tissues nearby because the tears are flowing already or they're going to flow, it is okay. If the tears are tears of joy or tears of sorrow, it's okay. Whatever is happening for you, it's okay. I really want you to understand that. I have spent the past 2 years, just about, since the beginning of COVID, creating Dream Leaper spaces like this one where we can connect virtually and yet heart to heart. And we've been doing this through weekly inspiration engagements on Facebook and occasional other activities, starting this year with this meditation event. Why? Because I know it's important for people who want to convene in the space of love and safety and connection to their highest selves to have that place to go to. I've been practicing meditation for more than 30 years. I know the power of listening to the voice within and following it. And in my Dream Leapers inspiration broadcast every Monday now, we do many meditations together. And so I thought it would be great for us to start this year in this way. So today we will be participating in a number of activities. I'd like to share with you what they are. I will be leading you through 2 meditations, one that we'll have soon and one a little bit later. We will be sharing with each other. So for those of you who can reach your chat box, I invite you to write in the chat box so that we can share with each other, even though we are not physically in the same space. And I also want you to have something you can write on and with for yourself. So whether it's a journal, whether a lot of people use their phones to capture whatever messages they want to share with themselves. I'm old school. I like to write it down. I've got my pad right here and my pen so that I can write things down. However you can take notes for yourself, please have something nearby so that you can capture what comes up for you. And also, I'd like to share in the chat box so that we can be connected to each other. And so I want to start asking you first, what do you want to carry forward? What do you want to carry forward with you from 2021? What do you feel good about? What if you have one thing that you want to carry forward from 2021 into 2022? What would that be? Please write it in the chat box. What would that be? Something that you feel you did, you experienced, you began, that you want to carry forward. Can you write that in the chat box? I want you to share with each other because it helps us to understand what we're all going through. But one thing you want to carry forward. And I know for me, it is story writing. I do a lot of storytelling. I want to do more story writing. So I do a lot of writing. I write every single day. I write an advice column. I write for various companies that I do not creative writing, but business writing for. But I've been working on a book of stories, and I got so busy that I didn't keep doing it. All right, so here, what do you want to carry forward into 2022? My vision, Medina Ali says, my vision What else? Anybody else have anything you want to carry forward? Don't be shy. What do you want to carry forward? Resilience. Oh my goodness. Resilience, Robin, is so important. How have we been able to survive if it hasn't been for resilience? We are tougher and stronger than I think any of us could have imagined. And we've put it to the test this year. So I totally agree with you on that. Anybody else want to share? What do you want to carry forward from 2021 into this year? My purpose, self explanation. Yes, self explanation. Being able to articulate who you are. That is the key to unlocking your greatness. Being able to articulate who are you? Who are you and how do you show up in the world? So incredibly important. My soul looks back in wonder. Courage. God's divine protection over my life to pursue my divine purpose. Indeed. So, everybody, think about it. What do you want to carry forward? Grace for myself. Because so often we are working to be supportive of others, what we can do for the people we love, what we can do for someone else. We have to remember ourselves in the equation and invite grace. Daily spiritual practice and write my next book. Completing books. Look, I said I've got a book that I really need to complete, and I know plenty of you do too. I don't know anybody who hasn't said, I want to write a book. The challenge is, are you going to do it? Are you going to take the steps and have the discipline to make it happen? Whatever that project is. You know, I have a good friend who may be on this broadcast now who retired and decided in the transition to retirement that she was taking her jewelry making to the next level. And she's doing it. Many people are in transition right now. What are you doing in the space of transition? I saw a report from McKinsey a couple of months ago that at that point said that was it that I think it was 15 million people had quit their jobs over the past 6 months, whenever that was. I think that was about 2 months ago. 15 million people had walked away. I want to know what they were walking into. Were you one of those people who walked away? I am ready to pivot. It is time to move, to do something else. If you were one of those people, what did you walk into? Or what are you about to walk into? These are things for us to think about, to explore. And so I love these affirmations that you've been writing, going for yourself, going for health, for confidence, for self understanding. These are key to be able to walk in alignment with your own life. And truly, health is at the top of that list. At the very top of that list. COVID has been a game changer for all of us. It has stopped us in our tracks. It has made us think differently about who we can spend time with, how we spend our time, what safety means, what risk means. It has made people go inside and quarantine. One of the questions that I have asked many people, and I'm asking this of you right now, and I want you to write down the answer in the chat box, the answer to this question. What did you do during quarantine that you're proud of? What did you do during quarantine that you're proud of? Write that down. What did you do Yes, what did you do during quarantine that you're proud of? All right, I survived. Indeed. Everyone who's connected right now survived. That's huge. Every single one of us who's connected right now survived. That means so much. What else? What did you do during quarantine that you're proud of? And I ask that, for those of us who remember 9/11, if you remember 9/11, then you remember where you were exactly. You remember what you were doing. You remember when you saw the buildings come down. You remember everything. Now, COVID, which isn't even over yet for sure, but the height of it, which it was such a long period, so many things happened. And we are going to be asked this question for the rest of our lives. So, claiming something that you're proud of is important. What are some of the things? I, okay. One of my girls, Gail, says, I have nothing to carry forward. I would like to forget 2021. Gail, I understand. And I want to say to you, I know you had wonderful moments. The wonderful moments are what we can hold on to. I decided to commit to creating the life I want to live in. Very good. I want everyone, and Gail, thank you for being honest about wanting to erase the year. And yet, I say this because I know you and I love you, and I say this because I know many people have had that same feeling. We all had highlights. There was something great that happened. Even if the greatness is recognizing the love that surrounds you, even when there's darkness everywhere, there's something that you can hold on to and say, this got me through. This gave me peace. This gave me happiness. And so I invite all of us to claim something, one thing, that's all, just one thing during this period that we can hold on to. And you can, thank you for writing it in the chat box, and also make sure you put it in your journal. Just something, one thing that can be your treasure from 2021. I'm going to share a couple things that were treasures for me. My family and I kind of ran away from our home each summer. We loved being in our home in Harlem, and things got really crazy for a while, unsafe. And we had the blessing of going out east to the beautiful community of Sag Harbor, where we have made family for so many years. And we got to spend time with people there that we love, including a very dear friend, Bill Pickens, who passed days after summer ended. And we got to spend the last summer of his life with him and with this small community of people that we love. Bittersweet. But we were in the place we love the most, with people we adore, at a point of transition for someone we love. So in that, just in that, there's every emotion, there's every feeling, and I'm making the choice to extract the great feelings. We got to be with friends in tender health and to be able to support them. We got to put our feet in the sand rather than in excrement that was right outside of our gate. I could choose to be mad about what was outside of my gate, and instead I'm grateful that I didn't have to be there in that moment. So as you think about 2021, as you think about the period of quarantine, find a treasure that you can hold on to that will help you as you move forward, because we're letting the rest of it go. And so we're about to do a meditation on letting go. Remember, I told you we're going to do two. This is our first one. So I'd like to invite everyone to sit in a comfortable posture. Put your feet flat on the floor and your hands with your thumbs and forefingers touching. You can put them on your knees. Sit up straight but easeful, shoulders back. Just breathe. And I invite you to close your eyes if you feel comfortable. Just breathe naturally. And as you breathe, notice your breath as it's moving in and out of your body. Give yourself permission to really breathe. So often we breathe shallowly. It's almost like we rush to breathe to get to the next moment. We're so busy in our lives that even taking a nice good breath takes too long. See, today we are giving ourselves permission to be fully present. So please just breathe. Notice the breath as it moves in and out of your body. And as you breathe, allow yourself to be fully present in your body. Allow your shoulders to relax. Let your feet anchor into the ground. Breathe and relax. Breathe and relax. Yes. Now, I want us to take a deep breath in, and as we do, invite all the healing energy into our bodies. Breathe in deep and hold it at the top, and then breathe out long and let go of any discomfort in your body. Yes. Now again, breathe in deep. Breathe in lightness of being. Now breathe out long and let go of any heaviness that's in your being. And one more time, breathe in deep. Breathe in your own power. And breathe out long. Breathe out any discomfort that's left. Now just continue to breathe. And as you breathe, very naturally, ask yourself, what are you ready to release? What do you want to let go of right now? You do not want to carry with you. What do you want to let go of? What are you ready to release? Ask yourself, what am I ready to release? And as you breathe, allow the thoughts to bubble forth. All kinds of thoughts may come. No matter what they are, don't be afraid of them. You have invited yourself to release. And so the things you want to release should be coming forth. Don't be attached to them. Think of them as clouds in the sky. They may be dark clouds. You want to release them. They're probably not bright, puffy clouds. Whatever they are, notice them, but don't try to hold on to them. Just let them pass. Yes. Just let them pass. Trust that whatever you are supposed to remember will be there for you. Breathe. Breathe and ask yourself, What am I ready to release? Is it a behavior that no longer serves me? Is it a habit that stands in the way of me reaching my goals? Is it a job that no longer serves me? Is it a relationship that is no longer healthy? Is it clutter that is filling my mind, my being, my physical space? Is it negative energy that is clouding my vision? What do I want to release? Trust that whatever comes up does not define you. Whatever comes up is coming up so you can release it. So do not be afraid. What do I want to release? Breathe. Breathe. And welcome forth that which you want to release. You are ready. Allow yourself to release whatever is for you. Meditate. Please gently open your eyes. Take a deep breath in. Breathe out long. Yes. Allow yourself to come back into this present moment. Whatever your state of mind right now, know that what you did was to give yourself the gift of release. And now please take a moment. You can write in your journals, and you can also write in the chat box what came up for you. What came up for you when you asked yourself, what do you want to release? My dear sister Cheryl, thank you for your kind words. I love you, and I love all of us, our connection. This is a safe space. I hope you feel safe right now to explore your own heart. And what came up for you? You can write it in the chat box. You can write it in your journal. Whatever came up, I want you to capture it for yourself. And it could be more than one thing. As we say, we're moving from 2021 to 2022. We are in 2022. But I promise you, each of us has something we're holding on to from 2021. Cheryl says, don't be afraid. That's one of those things way much easier said than done, right, Cheryl? Indeed. And yet, if we face whatever is happening in our lives, if we face it rather than fear it, what happens? What happens when we face the most difficult things that come before us? And we tackle them, we conquer them, we figure them out. Then we have no need to be fearful because we've claimed our power to work through anything. Abandonment issues. See? Thank you, Medina. Thank you for being raw and real. We all have something. Some things go deeper than others. Like the young man I told you who called me today, he was clinging to his life, believing that he needed something else in order to survive. That has to start with faith on the inside, but often requires a connection on the outside, a community. There's a wonderful African philosopher and scholar named Malidoma Some, who wrote a fantastical, amazing book called Of Water and the Spirit. He's from Burkina Faso, became a Rhodes Scholar. He wrote this book as someone who many people trusted in the Western world because of his scholarship. But the book is about what we can learn from his tiny little community in Burkina Faso that can help us in our big industrial communities in this part of the world. And one of the things that he talked about was that every single person is valuable in the community where he grew up. People who are differently abled, people who are elderly, people who are in some way or another needing something are treasured. And more than that, or equal to that, there is the belief that every single person has a gift and that it is the community's responsibility to create fertile soil within the community to make it possible for each person to not just harvest, to plant the seeds of their gift, to cultivate their gift, and to make that gift manifest in that community. Imagine if that's how we lived. If we lived in a way that we valued everyone and we paid attention to everyone, so if they're different from us, we still value them. We don't judge them, we don't talk about them, we don't dismiss them, we value them. What happens then if we choose to see them, to recognize them, to see their greatness, and to help them cultivate that? That's what Dream Leapers is all about. I created Dream Leapers to help people access and activate their dreams. In order to activate them, you have to be part of a community that can support you. That's what this is all about. And to first deal with the stuff that we need to release is important so that we can create space for the gifts to manifest. So, what did we say? To letting go of being indecisive. Uh, Teresa says, I'm willing to release and let go of all spiritual, physical, psychological, social, emotional, and financial pain. Ariel, pleasing others over prioritization of self. Amen. Caring what other people think. Let me tell you, that comes as you get older. We so care what other people think. And then at a certain point, like, wait a minute, what about me? What about me? And if I take care of myself first, how much better of a person can I be? Right? So I want you to remember what you promised yourself just now that you were going to release. And later, here's an exercise that I highly recommend. Write it down. Now you're going to keep it in your journal so that you know what it is. Because why is it important to know? So when it comes creeping back, you go, I said I was getting rid of that thing, right? But I want you to write it on a piece of paper. You can write it in block letters. You can make it a piece of art. Give it as much attention as you feel it needs. Fold it up and burn it. Literally. I want you to take what you said you were going to release and release it, burn it. My friend Anu makes these beautiful incense, uh, and they're like out of coal. They're beautiful. You could take a fragrance that you love and burn it in the space of that. So you're burning it in a fire of sweetness, of nectar, as a ritual to let go of whatever it is that you chose to let go of for 2021. The only reason why I want you to remember it is because usually these things creep back, and you tell yourself, I said you had to go. All right, we've let that go. Let's move on. You ready to move on? Yeah. You want to get to the good stuff, the 2022 stuff. So, in 2022, what do you want to do with your life? And from the perspective of dreams, I want you to think about what are the dreams that have filled your mind, your heart, your soul? What has come up for you when you've been sleeping, when you've been exercising, when you've been uh, moving about in your life? What has come up for you? So take a minute right now to think about that. We're going to meditate on this, but I first want you to just write down on a very superficial level what first comes to mind. If you ask yourself right now, what is that dream for 2022? What do you think it is? Write it down. Write it down. What what have you told yourself? What have you thought that dream is? You know, like I said, I've got this book that I'm working on. So I believe that's what I'm going to say my dream is. But when we go to the meditation, I already know because I've done this before. What you think your dream is may or may not be what it really is, what your heart is telling you. I want you, this is a two-part exercise. So, part one is what do you think your dream is for 2022? And it could have multiple parts. What is it? Write it down. Getting my health back. Indeed. You know, I go back to COVID. My family and I were so careful during this whole period. My daughter would tell you so strict that she didn't get to do a lot of things because we took it so very seriously. Because we did not want to get sick, we didn't want to get anybody else sick. And then wave after wave, and we kind of warded off all the illness. I'm recovering from COVID right now. Today is the first day that I can even talk without coughing. It's a blessing, literally, for me to be able to be here with you right now, because in spite all of the precautions, I caught COVID. It is so prevalent now. My doctor said probably everyone will catch it. And thank God, triple vaccinated, but it made me sick. I'm still recovering. I thank God that I was not hospitalized, as so many have been. But I share that with you because I would tell you we did everything we need to do, and still. And when folks write about health, I can assure you, if you don't have your health, it's hard to have anything else. It's hard to dream if your health is compromised. And so I pray for all of us to be healthy and to do the things. Here's the thing, we have things to do in order to be healthy, right? We can say it, and then there are things that we have to do to take the best care of ourselves that we can. And as it relates to COVID, I certainly have been super careful, caught it anyway. As it pertains to other things, sometimes good, sometimes not so good. And so I sign up for putting health at the top of the list every day. I very often put work at the top of the list every day. Health is there now. Work is right up there too, but health is there now. I hope it is for you too. All right. So what I want to do now, I'm going to ask one more time because only a few people wrote down. What came up for you when I asked that question? What's your dream for 2022? Just whatever it is. What came up? I hear health. Anything else before we go into our meditation? All right, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to invite you to take that comfortable posture one more time. Put your feet flat on the floor. That's important because you really want to ground yourself. And as I begin this, let me share what people are writing. To become more consistent and present in the moment of what I do to create memories and rituals, being thoughtful. Financial freedom. Being thoughtful, being conscious, being financially free. Whew, talk about having health at the top of the list. Financial freedom better be up there too, because if you are not financially free, it's very hard to believe that you can dream. And it takes a lot of work in order to get there. It takes a lot of work to get to that point. Thank you. People are writing in now. So good. I'm going to read some of these before we go into our meditation. Daryl says, continue to stay healthy, new promotion, and grow my photography business. And Daryl, I remember when you started that. And, one of the great blessings, you were able to document Greg Tate's music and career in his later years. Who knew he would be transcending, but you were able to document that. When we follow our dreams, we often connect to other people's dreams. And then all kinds of beauty emerges because we are fulfilling our heart's dream, our goal. Thank you for your prayers, Teresa. All right, you guys. It's time to go deep so that we can find out what our hearts are telling us we want to do. So here's what we're going to do. We're planting our feet flat on the floor. Why? I really want you, and if you can, don't have on any shoes or socks. Put your feet flat on the ground, whatever your surface is. And really put your toes flat on the ground. Place them flat. Anchor your feet like they're the trunk of a tree onto whatever your surface is. And you put your thumb and forefingers together and put them on your knees. That's holding the spiritual energy within. And your shoulders, put your shoulders back, elongate your spine, but also relax. The reason that you want your spine elongated is so that you can breathe as fully as you can and allow your spine to reach up into the heavens, and at the same time to reach down to the depths of the earth. Close your eyes. Just breathe naturally. I really want you to pay attention to the breath. Notice the breath as it moves in and out. The breath is key to life. And yet we take it for granted so much. So let's honor our breath right now. Breathe in and allow the breath to go anywhere in your body that feels uncomfortable. You want to feel comfortable now because what you're doing, you've just released the things that you don't want to hold on to, and now you are welcoming in the light. Breathe in light. Breathe out light. Be surrounded by light. Allow yourself to feel the warmth of God's light within your being. Breathe in light. Breathe out light. Fill your lungs with light. Allow light to permeate every part of your being. When you fill yourself with light, you allow yourself to see. Fill yourself with God's light. And as you do so, we're going to meditate. We're going to meditate on your dream for 2022. So let's meditate now. I will lead you in this meditation. Ask yourself, ask your soul, what is my intention? What is my dream? The big dream for 2022. What do I intend to guide my steps in 2022? As you breathe in light and exhale light, allow yourself to see what comes forward. What do you see? Is there a vision before your eyes? Is there a project shimmering before you? Is there a relationship? Is there a doubt? Is there a hobby? there a task? Whatever comes up, notice it and let it pass. Even with these treasures that come forth, don't feel you have to hold on. Just notice whatever comes forth. Breathe and ask yourself, for 2022, what dream do I want to fulfill? Where will my heart lead me? Breathe, listen, meditate. All right, let's take one more deep breath in and one more exhalation. Gently open your eyes. How do you feel? Isn't it nice to breathe in light, to breathe out light, to fill your whole being with light? When you do that, you don't even have to ask the darkness to go away. There's no space for it. It just goes. Whew. Breathing in light, welcoming in light, seeing light, moving toward the light. That's where our dreams live, because it's the light that connects us to divinity. And I'm taught that divinity lives within our own heart and soul. And when we connect to that divinity, then we are connected inside and outside to the divine. And it is then that our own magnificence can shine forth. And those pearls of wisdom show up. Those clouds scintillate. I know you had some scintillating clouds, yes? So take a moment right now and write in your journal and also write in the chat box. Now, understand some of you aren't able to access the chat box. So if not, please write it in your journal. This is really for you. Write down what came up for you. What scintillating gems came up for you? What is your intention for 2022? What dream do you want to manifest? What did your heart tell you? What's next for you? We did a Dream Leapers retreat a couple months ago. It was called What's Next? And there were so many speakers who came and shared different facets of how to examine what's next, how to access the notion of next, very concretely and also spiritually. How to move past whatever might be standing in the way of next. And the natural next step is this. Go inside and ask yourself, dare to ask yourself, what's next for me? What is my intention for 2022? What am I committing to do? Now, if we think about it, every January, certainly in the United States, and I think even beyond that, people say, I am making a New Year's resolution. I'm going to do this one thing, whatever it is, every day. Well, at least for a month. A lot of people don't even get through the month before they go, oh, I couldn't quite make it. That is not what we're talking about here. We are setting an intention for the year, a year that has 365 days in it. What did you tell yourself was your intention? If you're able to write in the chat box, please write now. What came up for you? What intention did you set? What dream did you promise you are going to activate? Be brave, peaceful, love myself in the ways I love and encourage my friends. Indeed, Cheryl. And you, my dear friend, encourage others so much. Those of us who are nurturing in our spirits, here's that question. Do I nurture myself? Or do I just give it all away? If I give it all away, then I'm actually not doing what Malidoma Somé said. He didn't say cultivate everybody else's dreams and not our own. The community that includes us, we're supposed to cultivate ours and others, yes? To fall in love with myself. Ooh. On New Year's Eve, my husband and I visited a very dear friend of mine and her husband. And from a distance, early in the evening, and my friend is a very casual girl, and I'm a very dress up girl. This was New Year's Eve. We weren't going to a party, but I put on the bit of sparkles and got myself dressed up. Why? For me. I dressed up for me. That's how I wanted to be. And she said, "Girl, what you got on?" I said, "I dressed up for me." And it was fun. And we loved each other in the ways that we do. And we were able to fully be who we are. And it was all good. Love yourself. Indeed. When you love yourself, all great things can come of that. To fall in love with yourself, indeed. Who else? What else did you come up with? Write it in your journal. Write it in the chat box if you can reach the chat box. But let's harvest what came up. So for some people, let's go through what happened. Because we sat for meditation, I guided you into a space, and then that's when you allow things to come. You don't know what's going to come. Even if you hold on to something, that doesn't mean that particular thing is going to come. As I say, if you think of your thoughts and things that come up as clouds, you let them pass. What came back to you when you opened your eyes? Live my life with ease. How many of you remember we started and we hardly even take a deep breath because we're moving so fast? Live your life with ease. Ariel, my intention is to create margin in all areas of my life, allowing space to nourish my whole being and ignite joy. Margin, space. One of the things that I've learned, part of the Indian yogic tradition, the space between the breath. So when you take a breath, we can do this together. Breathe in. At the top of the breath, before you release, that holding space, the space in between the breath, magic happens in that space. It's space, that margin that Ariel is talking about. So let's do it. Breathe in, hold, and breathe out. It's the pause space. It's a space when activity isn't happening. When you aren't doing anything, there's space for God to enter. Isn't that powerful? So the space between the breath, the space between the in-breath and the out-breath is considered sacred space. Now I want to ask you something. Many of you may remember this because, again, this was during the period of the height of quarantine. For those of us who were working and fortunate to be working from home, because frontlines workers were out there, many of us were working from home. For those who were working from home, how many of you became bound to the computer? I'm going to raise both of my hands. For work purposes, I was very, very busy. Blessings of work. I became busier than I had been in a long time, and I'm grateful. But one of the things that my assistant and I didn't think about in the world of scheduling was creating space for me or for her. We were just making the meetings happen. Boom, boom, boom. So quickly we realized that didn't work. I wonder if this happened to you. I would have a meeting. I would have back-to-back meetings. So let's say the first meeting is at 10 a.m. and the next meeting is at 11 a.m. and the next meeting is at 12 p.m. How many meetings did I reach on time? One, the 10 a.m. Unless there were any of the other meetings that ended early. Because even using this technology, You can't go from one electronic meeting to the next without at least a few seconds of disconnection and reconnection. We thought we were efficient. We're going to do 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. Did we create a bathroom break? Did we create a tech break to switch from one to the next? Did we create a lunch break? Not in the beginning. What we created was space to do work. We were serving others, but what we weren't doing was taking care of ourselves. And suddenly, like it was a panic moment, and we realized, uh-oh, we have not figured in the space between one thing and the next, the space for self-care, the space for a rhythm that can be sustained. And guess what? I learned from so many clients that they were doing the exact same thing. There was early in this broadcast, there was the thing to let go of being afraid. I think many of us were afraid that if we did not work as hard as we could, that we might lose everything. If we were fortunate enough to be working, we need to work. As an entrepreneur, I can tell you that had been my way of being. If there's work, I'm going to do it. I'm going to find the energy, I'm going to do it. This experience taught me you better back up, lady. Put on the brakes, pause, figure out a rhythm that honors you and your clients, and your assistant, and your family. You can't just go, 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 go. And the go, go, go changed because when you had to go physically to appointments, you couldn't do as many appointments in a day because you just couldn't do it. So that notion area of creating margin in all areas of your life to create space to nourish your whole being and ignite joy, that is so powerful. And I want all of us to consider that. How do we create space for God? How do we create space for the magic of our hearts to come to life? How do we create space for joy? Think about that. Sometimes when we're really busy, we feel that we have to be super serious because we have to get things done. Well, here's my list, and I am a big believer in lists. If you know me, you know I'm writing stuff down constantly and checking it off. And I'll get into that in more detail soon because I have suggestions for how we can manifest these things that we've come up with. But if you are so bound to your list that you have to be serious and strict at all moments, then you're not creating space for the magic of the heart. You're not creating space for grace. And if you don't do that, then what is worth it? If you're just checking off boxes, then what value are you bringing to your life? I think that's one of the great lessons that I learned during quarantine and during COVID. If I have to strip everything away, what am I left with? And is it what I value? If it's kind of like that notion, if you're stranded on a desert island, who would you want to be with and what would you want to have with you? That's kind of what quarantine felt like. And many people that I supported through this time, people who live with other people, with family members, with roommates, people who were alone, many people said that they began to reassess what they value and what they want to carry forward. And that's why we're together right now. Through this harvest of little mini meditations, we've come to see things that our hearts are telling us, this is what's important to me. And for many people, more than one thing came up, and that's okay. We have the capability of pursuing more than one thing. Now, if you had more than one thing, what I want you to do is make sure you record whatever came up and then choose one to focus on at a time. Because unlike previous wisdom that multitasking works, it doesn't. It doesn't really work. You need to focus on one thing at a time. Now, you can choose a particular part of the day to focus on one thing or another. You can put it all on your list. But you cannot do two things at once, no matter how great you are. It doesn't work. It is distracting and usually ends up making you less successful at whatever it is that you are choosing to do. And your dreams, your intentions for 2022 are far too important for you to risk not giving the proper attention. So I'm recommending that you make lists. You see, I have my pad. I write these things down. I write on a pad. I write in a journal. I sometimes write on my computer. Rarely do I write on my phone, it's just too small. But I write on my phone moments of inspiration. I write those if something comes up and I don't want to lose it and I'm not near the pad or the computer, the phone's always near me. So I will write on that if I have to. So other than that though, the point is to write it down. So here's the making of the list. You can start this now. So if you have your pad and paper, whatever you're going to write on, let's start making a list now. This is your intentions for 2022. First, I want you to write down whatever came up during that meditation. You've written it somewhere. Maybe you've already started this list. Just what came up for you. If it's one thing, it's fine. If it's more than one thing, that's fine too. Take one for starters. Very often, and I can tell from the things that you all wrote down, that they were umbrella kinds of things. So I'm just going to take one example that we can go through just so you can see what I've learned to be effective in fulfilling these dreams and activating the dreams that come up for us. So I'm going to use Lisa's of Live My Life with Ease. What does that mean? If you tell yourself, I'm going to live my life with ease today, this year, you need to be more specific in order for it to work. Because if you give yourself tasks that are measurable, then you have a much greater chance of sustaining whatever it is and being successful. So I'm going to give you a few examples of what I think live my life with ease could be. Wake up with a smile. Meditate in the morning. Don't look at my phone for the first half hour of being awake. Take a warm shower, or luxury, take a bath once a week in the morning. Drink tea. I say this as a coffee drinker. Drink tea. Exercise. This is all in the morning. Stretch. Maybe more specific. Stretch. Make an offering of prayer before my day begins. Okay, those are a few things. Then, during the day, Do a 3-minute meditation when I feel off off balance. What we did today were about 4 minutes. Do a 3-minute meditation, 3 cleansing breaths, and a recentering meditation whenever you feel off. Contact someone you love. Offer someone a smile. I want you to write down some things. Some things that come up for you right now. What can you do? Let's stick with this one for a minute. Live my life with ease. What else is easeful? And Lisa, since it's your idea, what would you say? Anybody got ideas? If you don't have the ability to write in the chat box, just write it for yourself. If you do, what feels easeful to you? What is a practice that you could write down on a list that you could follow? Somebody's got some ideas. And if you don't want to use Lisa's idea, what's tangible that's your idea on your list? The point of this, reach out and speak to one of my friends every day. That is such a beautiful thing. And one of the things I learned years ago, when you're feeling down, reach out to someone whose light you think is bright, because that person can help brighten your light. What we often do is to call people that we can complain with. Have you ever done that? When you're feeling a little low, a little off center, something happened, a bad thing happened in your day. You got a bad report at work, you had friction with someone, your partner upset you, something negative happened. And that lit a flame and you're ready to run with it. What many people do in those moments is to start their own fire. They call other people that complain. They call complainers, so that it's very natural. You know that person's going to be ready to complain with you. Resist the temptation. Do what Cheryl said. Call a friend every day. Make that a practice. But definitely, if you're feeling down, call someone who will give you the hug that you need, who will tell you the truth the way that you can receive it, that will help you to move past this tender moment and stay in the light. Because that's what we want to do, stay in the light. All right, accept positive invitations. Indeed. Buy fresh flowers for the house weekly. Oh, beautiful. Connect with the divine in the morning. Follow the inspiration for specific tasks through the day. Yes. So, all of these examples that you are giving and that I shared, literally, I want you to write those down for yourself. Not necessarily these that I said, but when you go through what came up for you, what came up during your meditation, when you go through that, what I want you to next do is write down how you will accomplish it. Because those are the specific actions that you can take so that you won't be here next year going, oh yeah, I had this idea that I was going to do this, but it didn't happen. One of the people who I know is connected to this broadcast, but not through the chat. But I know she just texted me, and had she been in the chat, I know she'd be writing all kinds of incredible things. My friend Basha, because she exudes positivity. And so I'm bringing her energy forth because she just wrote to me. When you choose to be positive, It's like when you choose to smile and other people smile because you smiled. When you choose that, the path opens for more smiles. The path opens for more light. But the conscious choices every day are the things that take you forward. So, again, Basha, I hope it's okay for me to use you as an example, who loves nature, who works in nature. And so imagine you choose light, you choose to smile, you choose to be in nature and to tend to nature so that our earth will be better. She chose her work to be in nature so that she could do that. Think about your choices, the choices that you make that guide your steps. Because this is what our meditation was about, our intentions for 2022. The dreams we intend to manifest. And when we claim them and we write down the steps that it takes to make them manifest, then they will. Well, we write them down and then we check them off. Which one of these steps am I going to work on today? So, like, is there, even now, when this broadcast ends, what can you do before you go to sleep that's putting you in the right direction to manifest your intentions? What can you do now that will help you get there? What can you promise yourself that you will do? I know there's something. Whatever that something is, claim it. So just like we talked about what you can do with ease at the beginning of the day, what about at the end of the day? When do you turn off the TV? When do you put down the phone? I remember my mother every night before going to sleep would drink like a 12-ounce glass of water. I don't know how she would do that, not have to get up in the middle of the night, but every night she drank a glass of water. So she was purifying her system before she went to sleep. What do you put in your body right before you go to sleep? What thoughts? What interactions? What do you drink? What do you eat? What do you put in your physical body before you go to sleep? What do you do before you go to sleep? What are the last thoughts that you have before you end your day? One of the things that I do, and I'll admit it, I call myself a writer first. So I like to write everything down. If I write it down, then it's not swimming around in my head. I write it down, I capture what I'm supposed to do, and then there it is. When I write down the things that include tending to myself, then I make sure I do that. I remind myself times drink water because I may not drink enough. Well, if I write it down, drink water, I check it off. And I check it off several times and I know I've had enough. Whatever is on your list is what needs to be on your list. Call my mama. She's 92. I check in with her almost every day, very often more than once a day. It brings her joy. It brings me even more. I write those things down along with, pay X bill, check in with X client, make sure I complete X meeting. I didn't always do that. I didn't always put my personal things on the list, writing them down. I often just put work things on the list. And I changed that years ago and put my personal things as priorities. What about you? That includes, we talked about how you begin your day. We talked a little bit about the middle of the day and the end of the day. How do you end your day? How do you end your communications with people that you love? This is so important. Many of you have written about love and how to, see, Vivian wrote, to walk in love. To walk in love. What does that mean? How do you walk when you walk in love? And one of the messages that resonates within me from my spiritual teacher, see God in each other. Isn't that powerful? What happens if you do that? If throughout your day you see divinity in everybody, especially the people who make you mad, who agitate you, instead of holding on to the agitation, you look, it's like you put on new glasses, a new prescription, and you look and go, there's divinity in there somewhere. Let me find the goodness in that person. Let me believe that that person is doing the best that is possible for that person in this moment. And if the best is not even close to good enough, oh, can I have compassion? Go back to Malidoma Somé. He said everyone is valuable, even the people who are different, even the people who have limited abilities, even the people who are negative. Everybody's valuable. Find the divinity in them. So, thinking about the people in your life, how often do you go to sleep holding on to negative thoughts about people in your life? Okay, I want everyone to recognize that I'm asking you a really big question, and I want you to be honest. All you have to be honest with is yourself. And sometimes that's the hardest person to be honest with. How many times do you go to sleep upset, angry, at odds, at least in your spirit, with someone who's important to you? How often are you pointing the finger this way, blaming someone for some agitation that is happening in your life? How often have you pointed that finger? Now, my friend Sekou, who is also on this broadcast, has said to me, he's reminded me of something I say very often. When you find yourself pointing your finger at someone else, blaming someone else, saying it's your fault, what do I say? Wrestle that finger around and point it at yourself. This is much easier said than done. Stop this and point this way and ask yourself, what was my role in this? How did I get here? How am I responsible for what's happening? What is my responsibility for this moment? We don't do that very often, you guys. The finger wagging that comes along with the tongue lashing, somebody is going to pay. We do it all the time. And guess what? Even when we don't say anything, energetically, if we are feeling angry, if we are feeling resentful, if we are feeling negative about someone who is important in our lives, it can be disruptive to our inner harmony and to that relationship. Now, who are the people who normally are those people? Our spouses, our partners, our children, our parents, our siblings, our bosses, our coworkers, our friends, usually our best friends. The people who we aren't that close to, usually doesn't matter. They don't matter as much. Isn't it curious that we end up in contentious relationships with the people that we care about the most? It's just hard to understand, except for it's part of human nature. And I have learned to put on the brakes when this happens. Not every time, but often. When I start pointing my finger, put on the brakes, stop, wrestle the finger around. What is my role in this? And there are all kinds of things that can be my role. It could be I am choosing to request things from a person that this person can't give to me. And I know it. And if I keep requesting it and not getting what I need, that's my own fault. I'm not treating this person the way that he or she has said that person needs. Yet I'm expecting what I need. So it's not reciprocal. This relationship has an expiration date that has passed, yet we're still in it. This relationship has changed, but we haven't changed with it. We could go on and on, you guys. I know that this is resonating with some of you. When you go to sleep at night and you haven't handled your business, you haven't worked out your relationships such that you can sleep peacefully, that means you have work to do. Guess what? Some of this may not have come up in your intentions for 2022. But taking care of business so that you can sweep out the darkness and allow the light to enter means you have to take care of business. And so part of what you may want to do is to pray for the vision and the fortitude, the strength, the resilience to handle your business. And so I told you that we were doing 2 meditations, but we're going to do one more. We're going to do a cleansing meditation together now because it feels necessary. It feels like the right thing to do for all of us. And I also want to point out, I very intentionally have made these very short meditations. You can meditate for as long as you like. Many people meditate for 20, 30 minutes, for 60 minutes. You literally can do a 3-minute meditation and connect to your heart. And you can swim in your heart by going longer. But for many of us, we are engaged right now in the evening, and I know that we have stirred up a lot. We have looked at 2021 and chosen one thing to bring with us and chosen to let go of so much more. We have meditated and welcomed the light, invited the light in to show us what our intention is for 2022, what our dream is, and we've allowed ourselves to claim at least one way forward for 2022, and we have written it down. We have begun to look at how to make a list. Let me remind you, write down the intention, write down the dream, break the dream down into manageable, actionable steps. It's not just this general broad stroke. How do you make it manifest? Write it down in tiny steps that you can actively pursue each day. And keep writing it down. Record your progress. Check off your accomplishments. Notice when you didn't do it. Make another list tomorrow and the next day. Breaking that dream down, that intention down into actionable steps. Plan your day so that it includes welcoming the day with ease. That one dream that one woman had, I want us all to take. Bringing ease into our lives. In the beginning of the day, in the middle of the day, at the end of the day. And so as we end this engagement, I want us to have one more meditation, a cleansing meditation, that will help us to move into this last part of our day with ease. So once again, everybody, feet flat on the floor, grounded, claiming the power that courses through our bodies. Thumb and forefinger touching, hands on your knees. Please close your eyes and breathe naturally. Just breathe. Thank yourself for being together in this moment during this Dream Leapers meditation experience for 2022. Breathe. Once again, breathe in light. Welcome light into any part of your body that may feel tense. Like, do your shoulders feel tense? Breathe into your shoulders. Does your lower back feel tense? Breathe into your lower back. Anywhere that you feel any tension, any lack of ease, breathe into that part of your body. Understand that you have the power to welcome light into any part of your being. Just breathe. I'm going to guide you into this very special cleansing moment. So together, let's meditate. Yes. Very gently allow your breath to each breath. Think of it as a cleansing breath, cleansing your being of any discomfort, of any negativity, of any fear. Have no fear. You have opened your heart to your own greatness. Allow yourself to feel the benefits of welcoming your greatness, connecting to your greatness. Resist allowing diminishing thoughts in you. Allow lightness of spirit, lightness of heart, the clarity of lightness that reminds you of your intention for 2022. Whatever you want to do, whatever your heart has told you, you can do it. Right now, you just want to cleanse your being. Enjoy this moment. Invite your whole body to relax. Your entire being to relax. Thank yourself for giving yourself this moment of entering your heart, of listening to your soul, of trusting yourself. Know that your dreams are valuable. You are worth it. Your dreams are worth it. Cleanse. Let anything go that is unloving. Allow yourself to be washed in the light of God's love. Allow yourself to be connected to this. Meditate. All right, everyone. Breathe in deeply one more time. And breathe out long. And very gently open your eyes. How do you feel? Do you feel at ease? Do you feel grounded? Do you feel connected to your greatest self? Do you feel that connection to divinity? I feel a scintillation right here of a good kind. That spiritual connection that can happen when you take the time to connect to your own greatness. Such a powerful thing. You don't have to go somewhere else to get it. You go inside to find it. And it doesn't take that long to get there. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me for this journey inside. Dream Leapers Meditate 2022. We did it. We went in again and again together. It's powerful to do together. I do hope that you took good notes, capturing what your own soul told you to pay attention to, what you will hold on to that is of value from 2021, what you are letting go of and burning in the fire of yoga, letting it go. What intention you have set for 2022 for your own life. What that dream is and what you plan on doing with it. In the beginning of a plan that will start your day, connect you to your day, and end your day with ease. The cleansing that allows you to remain connected, grounded, and free at the same time. I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It has been an honor. Thank you for your trust to be together in this way. I appreciate you. It means a lot that you trust me to help you to move forward in this new year. I want to let all of you know that every Monday at 9 a.m. Eastern, for a half hour, I lead a DreamLeapers inspiration session. Every Monday at 9 a.m. it's live, and then of course you can find it after. It lives as a podcast. It's called DreamLeapers Inspiration, and it is live on my Harriet Cole Media page on Facebook every Monday at 9 a.m. We also have a DreamLeapers program on WBAI, WBAI.org, every Friday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. This Friday, I'll be talking to Sekou Wrights about his new project and about claiming our dreams in 2022. You can find that on WBAI.org. You can connect to me to support you in helping to manifest your dreams, in helping to tell your story, in coaching you to greatness. You can reach out to me through my website, harrietcole.com. I serve to support you, all of us, in manifesting our dreams. I thank you for being here with me this evening. I wish you all of the love and connection to greatness that you can receive. When we make our dreams manifest, we make the world a much better place. Until we meet again, have a great day and make it count. Namaste.